Out of my head, girl, your love is all I think about. I just can't get you out of my head.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing super well. So for today's video, I wanted to do another, yet again, story time because that's what you guys feed off of. And it's kind of weird. It's like you guys care about me, but you like to hear stories that revolve around me being hurt or me in pain or just like bad stories that are not really good memories, but they're entertaining to listen to. So for today's video, I wanted to do a story time on the time I was hospitalized in Dominican Republic. Yes, I was hospitalized on vacation, something you probably wouldn't want to experience because it's vacation. You pay money, you pay really good money for a nice vacation, and then you end up in the hospital. And no, I was not hospitalized for partying too much because, fun fact, I went with my mom. My mom and I were kind of like the same person where if we go on vacation, all we want to do is just be like a lazy potato overall. It's like all we did was just sleep, eat, swim, tan, that's it. That's all we did, and go to sleep at like 9 p.m. So you're probably wondering, well, Milana, if it wasn't partying, then what was it? Why did you get hospitalized? And I'm gonna tell you, this is what the story is about, is how I got hospitalized in Dominican Republic. And this actually happened when I filmed my first ever morning routine. That was that summer. That was last summer when I went to Dominican Republic, and this happened, and I didn't tell you guys about it because I don't know, I don't know. We weren't that close yet. I'm sorry. I'm joking. But I was kind of embarrassed of telling you guys that I went on vacation and ended up being in the hospital. And I feel bad for my mom. So I'm sorry, Mom, you had to go through that. I'm sorry. I apologize. Okay, so let me go straight into the story. So basically, my mom and I decided to take a vacation to Dominican Republic. So anyway, you know, first day, second day, third day, fourth day, we're good. And then the fifth day is when it went all down. But basically, I woke up and I wasn't feeling well from the start, but it wasn't like too bad. I kind of like, I didn't even think about it, and I went to breakfast per usual. You know, we ate and we went to the beach. After a couple of hours of being at the beach, we went to have lunch. And that's when it all started to happen. I started to get very nauseous, very anxious, and it was one of those things where I was sitting in a restaurant and I was just so anxious because I knew that I'm gonna puke and everyone's gonna look at me, and that's why I was anxious, because I was embarrassed to puke in public. Like, it's like my #1 fear is to puke in public. I don't know, it's always been a problem for me, but that time it was so bad. I felt like my digestive system like shut down. I was having a panic attack, and I was just not feeling well, and I told my mom, I'm like, I have to go before I faint or puke or both, you know? So she's like, you know what, go to the hotel room, just rest up, you'll be okay. So I went into the room. I know this is TMI, but whenever I go to the bathroom, like peeing, my bladder would hurt. Like, it would hurt to pee. So I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, it was the first time I've ever had pain while peeing, and then whenever I would stop peeing, it would still feel like I needed to go to the bathroom. So at that point, I'm like, it's probably a UTI. You know, UTI is something very common. Lots of people get it, so I wasn't really scared. I'm like, just pass me the cranberry juice and let's, you know, move on and go tanning. I drank cranberry juice. That didn't help. I was super nauseous by dinner time. I didn't have any appetite, and I was just feeling so like, just so weak. Stomach was in so much pain. My mom thought that I got appendix. My mom was just like, girl, we gotta go to the doctor because I don't know how to help you. Nothing was helping, like not cranberry juice, not soup. Like, I tried everything, and we never bring medication to vacation because we don't expect getting sick, and that's #1 rule. Always bring at least Advil with you, at least Advil. Always be prepared. Rule #2, always have insurance whenever you go on vacation. You know, always think ahead because you don't know what's gonna happen. You're not Jesus, you're not God, you don't know what's gonna happen. So always have insurance when you go to another country. Anyways, so we go to the doctor. My doctor was super nice. He checked me out, he pressed on my stomach, and he asked me where it hurt. And first thing that he said, it's not an appendix, so that was like the #1 thing that I was afraid of. And my mom, obviously. But he said that it might be a UTI, and he thinks it's a UTI, but he doesn't know for sure because he needs to get my blood and urine like tested before telling me for sure. So he gave me two options at that point. He's like, one thing I can give you is like a pill. It's kind of like Advil and the pain will go away and you'll be okay. But he said that's not going to get to the root of the problem because it could be something else. I can't tell you because I don't have your blood work, I don't have your urine tested, I don't have your poop tested, I don't have anything tested. So he's like, it's better for you to go to the hospital, but that's up to you. He said at the hospital they'll check you and they'll get all the blood work, ultrasound, like anything that they need to do to figure out what you have. We were sitting there for like 5 minutes trying to figure out whether I should go to the hospital or not, and we ended up saying yes. The ambulance came and they made it such a like huge scene. I literally felt like a zoo animal because they put me on a stroller and they like rolled me out into the ambulance, and every single person in the hotel was just staring at me like I was just an animal. And it wasn't fun. Like, you do not want to get sick on vacation. That's probably one of the worst things ever. So we came, we checked in, they sat me into a room, and from there on, it just got worse. And like I usually say, grab your popcorn, girl, and just listen, because this is where the climax of the story is, okay? And this climax doesn't end. It just keeps getting higher and higher and higher. But basically, this nurse comes in, the nurse from hell, and she comes in and she told me she's gonna do my blood work. I'm like, okay, do it up, girl, do it up. She came up and she tied a rubber glove, a freaking rubber glove, to stop the blood flow. That way she could see my vein. And you know, I was like, you know what, maybe this is Dominican Republic and that's what they use. Usually they use like an elastic string to do this kind of thing, but she was using an elastic glove. But I'm like, you know what, it's still gonna do the same thing, whatever. Closed my eyes on that. It looked a little bit sketchy because I'm like, this is what drug addicts do, but okay, you could do that, it's fine. So try and picture this, okay? This rubber glove just tightly tied on my like hand right here, and my veins are pumping. They're like super blue. I could see them, my mom could see them, everyone could see them, but she didn't see them. So she started hitting my hand very hard, and she still couldn't get it. So she decided to do the same procedure, but on my like actual hand, like on these veins. This nurse didn't know what she was doing, and I feel like this was the first time she was ever taking blood from a patient, so I felt like a testing rat. So what she was doing, she kept on hitting my hand. And mind you, keep in mind that I'm a person who has tolerance for tattoos, for belly piercings, for like waxing, for I don't know what else there is, but I have very high pain tolerance. I never, like, I am not even gonna mention this, but through a blood test, I have never cried. It was just like, you know, a mosquito bite. I would never even be afraid of getting my blood tested. But ever since this particular experience, oh my god, I'm actually afraid of needles now. I'm afraid of getting my blood done because of this nurse. So let me continue on to the story. So basically, she keeps hitting it, and I'm there like trying to hold up my tears because first of all, my vein is up to here at this point. She's still hitting it. She is still freaking hitting it, and she's not just tapping it. She's full on hitting my hand. Doing this for about like 2 minutes now. I'm crying because it hurts so bad. Like, I felt like someone was literally punching my vein. I don't know how to explain this pain, but I would not like wish this upon my worst enemy. That's how painful this was. This was more painful than getting a tattoo. If that clears things up for you guys right now, it was worse than getting a tattoo. Continuing on, she gets the needle, and she doesn't just like, you know, when you get your blood work done, they just quickly like slide it in like very nice and neat, and you just feel like a little mosquito bite, and then they pull it out. No, that was not the case, boo. But this girl did. She literally shoved it. Just picture this in your head right now. Getting a needle this size, literally just pushed into your vein. At that point, I'm just sitting there with no emotions. My tears are falling down. I've never had this before where my tears would come out on their own. Like, I would never have that ever happen to me. Like, literally bawling. My mom gets up because my mom has never seen me cry, especially through a blood test. I don't cry in front of people. I'm the type of person who, even if I'm like in the worst pain ever, I will suck it up because I don't want to cry in public. Well, my mom, obviously she's in shock. She's never seen me cry like that before over a blood test. So she gets up, she pushes her away, and she goes like, "What are you doing? She's crying, like you're hurting her." Like, once my mom told her like, "You're hurting her, what are you doing? You're not doing it properly," because usually my blood work gets done through here, but she was doing it through the hand, and she's like, "You know what, like, get another nurse." So she took out the needle and she left the room, and I'm crying. I'm sitting there crying. My mom's trying to calm me down, and I'm laying there. And as I look onto my hand, oh my god. My hand has never been so purple and black ever. It was so black. Not only was it black and purple, it was swollen. It was like this big. Like, I did not recognize my hand at that point. I'm like, I came here to get my blood work done. I came here to check out what's going on with my stomach, and I'm gonna be leaving out of here without a hand. I know I'm being dramatic, but honestly, if you were in my position, you would feel the same way. You would be so scared. After that nightmare, I now have phobia towards needles and getting my blood work done. Another nurse comes in, she calmed me down, she's like, "It's okay." She gets that rubber string that they use in Canada and like anywhere I go to get my blood work done, like an actual string for blood work. I was like, wow, they have it. Clearly the first nurse didn't know what she was doing because she didn't even know what to use to stop my blood from flowing. You know what I mean? She did it so professionally. She wrapped it, she took my blood out of here within like a minute. But I was like, why couldn't you come here first and do my blood? Like, why? Why, girl? Why weren't you there? To end up the story, what happened was I ended up getting ultrasound. They didn't even tell me what it was. They just prescribed me a bunch of pills. And when we were leaving, they're like, "Oh, you have to stay." And I'm like, well, why do we have to stay? I feel better. Even though I felt worse since this girl like literally bruised my hand, but I was like, no, I'm not staying here. I'm going back to the hotel. Thank you very much. And she's like, "Well, if anything happens to you, that's your own responsibility, so sign off the sheet." I signed it, and then the insurance guy from Canada called us, and he's like, "Is everything okay? Did they treat everything? Blah 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 blah." And I'm like, "Yes, I'm fine." And then he's like, "Well, they're telling me that you don't want to stay in their facility to heal up." I'm like, his name was John, and I'm like, "John, if you only knew what went down, you wouldn't stay here either." And he's like, "Okay, well, if anything does happen to you, you know, you're not gonna have any more insurance." And I'm like, "You know what, John, I'm willing to take that risk." And I hung up and we left. That was that. Yeah, that's my hospital story from Dominican Republic, and now you guys know I have phobia towards needles. Woohoo! Anyways, I'm gonna go now. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!